Hey, how's it going? I thought I would do a midweek check-in with Spirit about our energy. And basically the idea behind this is just like we kind of have a sense of like how we're doing, like where we're at in life, but Spirit always has the bigger picture. So I figured we'd do like an energy check-in for the bigger picture of what's going on in our lives. It'll be a shorter reading, but let's start off by praying. I'll pray silently, and you can pray to whatever higher power you believe in. Ask for whatever it is you need, and I'll pray for protection for us and everything like that. All right. Okay, and if you have more to say, feel free to continue praying as I shuffle. Okay, I just wanted to also note that like I really make it a priority to be authentic about like where I'm at. Like if I'm not in a chatty mood, I won't make an effort to like be chatty or on camera, but if I am like higher energy, that's gonna come through. And so I just like, if you're someone who's gonna keep coming back and watching me, I just thought I would let you know, like if I seem different in some videos versus others, it's not necessarily an indication of me like doing poorly, but it's just we just have these ebbs and flows in our energy, and it's not just like energy of like tired versus high energy, but also being in a more reflective space versus being in more of an outwardly focused energy of like, or even the divine masculine, divine feminine, like maybe you're in more of an intuitive space versus more of a leadership space, speaking out versus reflecting, thinking. So I think that's a message from Spirit to kind of remind you that it's very much okay to go out in the world and show up as your authentic self when it comes to your moods and your energy levels. And it's not necessarily like, oh, if you are grumpy, go out and be rude to people, but it's more so like, don't force yourself to be bubbly if that's not where you're at, that sort of thing. But let's take a look at the cards. And as the cards came out, this Eight of Swords was the first one that like flipped over like to where I could see it. And so Spirit was centering this message around self-doubt and how we see ourselves as a result of what the world reflects back to us. And Spirit wants to remind us how valuable it is to take time to be with ourselves so that we can be in touch with who we truly are when we look in the mirror versus like things that we were told as kids. Like Spirit's calling me to like the concept of physical appearance, physical attributes, because something I've heard different people say with different attributes of theirs, like people will carry insecurities into their adulthoods from dumb things that other kids said to them, right? Like all it takes is like one person telling you have an ugly nose, and then as an adult you get a nose job, you keep going into more plastic surgeries. And I'm not like bashing plastic surgery here, but I'm saying when we really sit down and reflect on why we have certain insecurities or why we're doing certain like work on our physical appearances, like what is the reason behind that? And is that something we can just focus on releasing rather than trying to put a band-aid on it by changing something about our physical appearance. And this King of Cups is really co-signing on that message in terms of being so centered within yourself and being so confident. The King of Cups is someone who, no matter what is going on around them, no matter what is being said or done, they're able to come back to their inner peace. And that's what makes them a strong leader of their own lives and a strong leader to others if that's what they're called to do. Because when you're constantly swayed and when you're constantly a slave to your emotions, you can't effectively lead, you can't make your best decisions, your life is chaotic and inconsistent. And so Spirit is saying this, we have this potential to be the King of Cups, but it just takes some focus and it takes some effort, and just effort in terms of being disciplined about prioritizing our alone time, prioritizing self-reflection, and recognizing the roots of beliefs that we have, beliefs about ourselves, beliefs about the world, what gives someone their value, their worth. And so Spirit is just reminding us, like, it's a beautiful thing to dress well, to look our best, to do all of that, but none of that matters if you don't have the confidence underneath. And Eight of Wands in reverse. It's kind of funny because as I've started doing more readings on YouTube, I just like noticed patterns with the cards, and Spirit kind of reminds me of them. And like I got a comment, and it only sticks out because I don't get that many comments, but someone pointed out, like, I saw a lot of 8s in this reading, and I'm actually in a personal year 8. If anybody knows anything about numerology, you can look up like how to calculate your personal year, but this is just about that abundant energy. And 8 gives me masculine vibes in terms of like go-getter energy, ambition. Like the number 7 is about spiritual growth, learning, and so it's like kind of moving from 7 to 8. It's like we did all that like inner work, like inner understanding and learning, and now moving into this 8 energy. That's about how we show up in the world. That's about how we show up to pursue our callings and lead others. And this 8 of Wands in reverse, I'm getting right now, Spirit reminding us of how it's not a waste of time to be still, to be meditative, to look at ourselves, right? That is actually contributing to our ambitions and contributing to what we can accomplish. And the 6 of Cups, that's about looking at the past. So Spirit is specifically saying that taking the time to examine your past, like, don't get stuck there, right? Don't get stuck in victim mentality of, oh, so much bad happened to me. How am I ever going to move past this? Like, I've been through so much. People have always hurt me. What am I going to do? Like, none of that type of rumination, but maybe just looking at like, oh, I recognize now where this scarcity mindset came from. I recognize now how so many people in my life took digs at my confidence and my self-worth. Maybe it's a family issue, like there are familial patterns, and like even if your parents did the best they could, we can acknowledge that. Like, another thing about the King of Cups and equanimity is this idea of this and that are true, and accepting the good with the bad. And so when you look at like, oh, my parents, you know, there was always food on the table, but maybe they weren't there for me emotionally, that's you're not calling them bad parents. You're not blaming all of your problems on them, but you are saying, okay, this contributed to how I see the world, to my ability to care for my emotions and nurture myself in this way. And when you do that examination, that's how you start making actual changes, meaningful changes that help you move forward in life, that help you improve your finances, that help you to be more generous with others. Sometimes a result of trauma, and Spirit's not necessarily saying that this is that you've become a totally mean, cold-hearted person or anything, but sometimes with trust issues, it's harder for us to be generous with our time and energy, to welcome others into our hearts. We use hermit mode as self-protection, and Spirit's saying by doing this self-reflection, by building your confidence, by recognizing how valuable it is to be in control of your emotions, you are able to give more generously of yourself in a way that doesn't feel draining. You won't even feel like you're giving away anything, because it's going to be poured back into you by Spirit and by the world, by those around you. All right. So let's see if Spirit has any more specific messages. Strength came out in reverse, and this is a number 8 card. I was like asking Spirit, okay, what is it? And one, strength is number 8, so that's a third 8, and Spirit's really emphasizing that abundance is coming in for us. That's what our current energy is attracting. We're in this page of Wands energy of like still being like at the beginning, towards the beginning of this journey of self-confidence and stepping into our purpose, but we're gaining momentum, we're gaining passion, because of all of that transmutation of hurt that we did. So Spirit's saying amazing job, and we're very attractive right now with all of this Wands and 8 energy. 8 also has to do with manifestation, and as do the Wands. So Spirit's commending us in that way. Okay. I was gonna keep shuffling and wait for more cards, but I was channeling through messages with this one card, and Spirit was like, just go ahead. So more Wands energy, number 1. This is the 10 of Wands, and it's in reverse, and Spirit's emphasizing the fact that we're at the beginning, we're at the precipice. We're not just starting a new chapter, we're starting an entirely new book. Like this second phase of our lives is just, it's like a new story. We're rewriting the story of who we are and how we show up in the world, because we're undoing all of that past programming. And Spirit's saying, don't worry if you're in a lull, because you needed a break before you embark on this next leg of the journey, because we're going to have a lot of energy, and that energy is already starting to build right now. So you might be feeling some restlessness, and you might be feeling like you went through the change, but the external isn't necessarily reflecting it yet. There's just like a tiny bit more we need to do, a tiny bit more trust in ourselves that we need to build. Spirit is saying our faith is so good. Our connection to Source, to God right now is so strong with this Wands energy, but we just need that last little bit of, I am worthy, I can do this, I really can, and I just need to get out of my own way and trust again. Like, it's not just like, you're not going to screw this up because you have God backing you. God's not going to let you screw it up anymore. You might have made mistakes in the past. You might have failed in little ways, but it was only so that you could learn what you needed to learn. That's all. Like, God just let a little bit through so that you could learn what you needed to learn. And now we're building that momentum, and it's not going to slow down once we get started. And so if you're in a lull, or you feel like nothing's happening, I'm getting these readings that are talking about money, that are talking about new love, and none of this is happening in my external. Spirit's saying, yeah, that's because you're meant to be appreciating this downtime before things pick up, because next thing you know, you're going to be complaining about how busy you are and how you're juggling. Well, not necessarily. Spirit's just like being lighthearted about that. They're not calling you ungrateful or anything, but just saying to appreciate every moment that you're in, even when you feel restless. Like, just sit with that restless energy and know that it means that something's coming. Okay, we'll get a final message. 8 of Wands in reverse again. Spirit, for me at least, Spirit's language is a language of repetition. So if you feel like you're getting the same messages over and over again from certain readings, know that that's like Spirit emphasizing, or there might be something that you're missing from it or something like that. Like, repetition is so powerful. Don't discount it. Don't like desensitize yourself to synchronicities because you see them so much. And so that's why I always like to point it out, like when I see a repeating card, even if I don't necessarily get a full message from it, I'll still point it out. And maybe like later on, it'll be like 2 weeks from now and you see the number 8 somewhere, like repeating somewhere random or something, and it's like just the confirmation you needed because you were about to make a decision or something like that. Just, yeah, success is coming and recognition is coming, opportunities, offers, more Wands energy. And Spirit's saying if this were to happen right now in this moment, part of you would still be doubting and part of you would still be kind of in the way, or maybe turning something down because you don't feel ready. And so Spirit is saying, don't get so caught up in like, I got these predictions and they're not coming true. Look inward. Do thought exercises where you're like, okay, if I were asked out by somebody who was meant to be my soulmate today, would I feel excited or would I feel too afraid to say yes, or too afraid to actually open my heart and be vulnerable with them? Like, even if you say yes, are you gonna be closed off? Just things to think about. Yeah, 9 of Pentacles, like so Spirit's kind of switching gears to talk a little bit about love, because this is the Independence card, right? So when you're stepping out and you're really attractive and beautiful and whatnot, like, part of you knows this, part of you knows who you are, but there's still that maybe like scared inner child who's got an abandonment wound or a rejection wound, whatever it may be. Spirit's saying, trust God to bring you the right person, and trust yourself to not sabotage it, and trust yourself to be worthy of a beautiful, beautiful love story. 5 of Cups in reverse. You healed your heartache. Your heart has been repaired and restored by both you and God, and it's pulling someone towards you now. Queen of Cups in reverse, Queen of Pentacles. So Spirit's saying that even though you're really focused on your finances and your career endeavors, you're still attracting love. So soften a little bit. Soften your heart and find balance between your masculine and your feminine. And know that whoever you're calling in is going to have that balance too. And you guys are going to play off of each other in a really beautiful, harmonious way. So that's so lovely. Okay, let me see if I can get a card to leave you with an affirmation. Change is coming and you're ready. You rebirthed. All good things are coming to you, and death may be scary, but it's the only way to make room for the new. This book is all about, this new story you're writing is all about an overhaul of your life, how you're a brand new person. Don't get in your own way, and don't get in the way of the flow of the universe. The energy that you're in is the energy of a touch of fear in a sea of hope. Wow, that's beautiful. Like, there's just like a dash, but it's not enough to hold you back anymore. King of Swords. You are wise. Once again, you are a leader. Eight of Pentacles. You are your own boss in every area of your life. So this is not just in your career endeavors, but you are the boss of who you allow in your energy, who you allow to take up your time. You are discerning and you can trust in that. And anytime you're in doubt, obviously pray. But Spirit's like, you don't need me to tell you anything. I'm here to validate. But you know in your heart, you know what you're meant to be doing. And there's no rush either. Like, I was like, okay, so does this mean we need to like get to work? Is that the message of Spirit's like, no, you're very attuned to that type of message. Like, okay, time to go out and do. Like, that's a personal thing that I've been working on. This is also just, this is go out and be, because you are the work. In the sense of, when you just show up to the world and do what you do and speak your truth, that makes waves and that makes change. So what energy are we in right now? We're in the energy of leadership, equanimity, being able to handle anything that comes our way with grace and ease and balance and harmony, inner harmony. The outer harmony, the outer reflection of our dreams coming true, the outer reflection of all the work we've done starts from within, from that inner resource of confidence that we've built up. All right, so go forth and be confident. And I'm so excited for what you're gonna do in this world. All right, I'll see you later this week.